Let me take this privilege to welcome all of you today to this wonderful, wonderful webinar. And as we begin, I would like to start with a short introduction about myself and then definitely our guests here and all of you present here for this wonderful webinar. First of all, thank you for taking out your time and being here with us today. We would really appreciate if you can keep your videos on as well. That will add on a lot of energy to the session. It will be really, really nice to see you all here on this Sunday morning. Thank you, Devangji. Thank you so much for putting on your video. Nice to see you, sir. Thank you. All right. So, yes, good morning once again, everyone. I'm Tejal Tanna here. So, on behalf of Rishi Gurukulam, we are all here presenting this wonderful webinar where we are all going to gain some great insights on NEP 2020. I represent Gurukul as a principal of the Gurukul here, and it's been a great journey as far as I speak about Rishi Gurukulam. It's more than now 11 years that I'm associated with this wonderful institute, and so much to experience, learn, grow, which you will definitely know in next couple of hours. And yes, we'll share a lot of things with all the presence of all the wonderful experts who are with us today. So I think we'll begin with a short introduction about our panelists, and then we'll proceed with knowing our participants little more. So once again, requesting all the participants to put on their videos. That would be really, really nice. Okay, so we'll do a quick knowing of our guests here, our speakers rather. All right, so we have with us our distinguished speakers. We have with us Mr. Heram Kulkarni. He is the director of CCE Finland. Gaikwadji, founder of Create Ed Learning Space. And of course, we also have with us Narendra Raniji, director of Rishi Gurukulam. So can we have all our guests on screen, please? Yes.
Can you please? Yes, thanks. Thank you very much. And good morning to all. And it's great to see very active and quite energetic audience in front of us, actually. So looking forward to have a great interaction. Thank you, Didi. Uh, so I think introduction is enough for me, and it is my in fact it's on the contrary, it's my privilege to work with Rishi curriculum. The reason being that it's a kind of an experimental ground for our research. It's an ground where we can be able to experiment openly with open arms. We are welcomed, and as well as it has been a great foundation where we work with many schools. And the beauty of Gurukulam is that where we have the possibility to experiment because the parents are involved. So parental involvement is amazing at the school, and that is missing in many schools. So it's an honor to use our research in this area. Um, so as far as the current status, I think if you read last 1 week news, uh, anywhere in any media, you will see that the current news readers, they are reading more news on the technology which was done 30 years back. uh, so if 30 years back, if you take a news, because I was searching Google News 30 years back, now most of the news were about politics, sports, and that's about. But in recent last week, all news, everybody knows what is happening in the AI world, who is doing what. What does this mean is that the test of the entire generation, the test of the entire society changing rapidly, and that is connected with the need of the society, what is coming in front of us. Unfortunately, in the same speed, are we changing our schools? If I see 30 years back school and now school, it's more or less the same. If you You don't say that, okay, its technology is there and everything is there. No, no, we are not using that technology for the classroom education. So it is, we have good classroom air condition. Air condition has changed, but that hasn't changed the learning. So for the same reason, with a lot of efforts, energy, a lot of deliberation, government of India has proposed that, okay, let's, we have to change this entire process of learning towards more student centric, more active, more design oriented. And this is the main objective behind national education policy which has been proposed. Now, when this got proposed, this is way back in 2017. Now I'm talking about 2017, almost now 8 years back. To be specific, I will tell you a date where India changed its way of learning. The date was 27th March 2017. On this day, India, for the first ever time, launched one GR, government resolution, in which the Ministry of then HRD, now it's called Ministry of Education, has issued a GR where they said that, okay, we will now start designing our state curriculums with the learning outcomes. That was the first time. And second thing, 2018 was the first time when the early childhood education curriculum was proposed by NCRT, just few years back. So this was a major change happened in a matter of last 8 years. Now from that time till now, a lot of things has been changing. National education policy is getting rolled in different states, and I was fortunate enough to be part of that entire process at that time. And still we are working with government of Chhattisgarh, Delhi, Maharashtra, Goa. And while working with the state government, we realized that it is not the uh, it is not the policy which is important, because policy is there in the documents. It is the teachers who are the main activators of implementing this policy. Gone are the days where we have to wait for the government to give all the directions to us and then start implementing it. That phase has already been over. It's now time for the schools, it's time for the teachers to take the control in their hand, read the policy, implement in their local context, design its own teaching methods, design its own curriculum. I'm using the word very critically or very cautiously, that design own curriculum and then only start implementing. This is the main objective of the national education policy was there. Whether have we achieved it or not, we have to see it, because as I said, the world is changing, the technology is changing. So we are lagging behind the technology already. The technology has already taken down the basic uh, two components of the learning, which is the remembering and understanding. AI and machine learning has more memory than the human being, and it can more analyze. In fact, it can even comprehend. It is in understand it in a better way. Now we have to evolve ourselves into the better skills as a human being. So that's in brief what is happening at the global level. And maybe I will we will talk more about, we have amazing other panel members. I'm looking forward to hearing from them on the STEM area, on the outdoor learning area, and as well as how the things are happening. Thank you very much.
Welcome to our webinar again. Um, so, Didi has already given such a beautiful introduction. I'm not going to double click on that. I'm actually going to take something from what Hiram sir just said. The technology is evolving. And I would just want to open up this window. The technology has been ever evolving, isn't it? Like when we created the first fire, that was technology at that time, isn't it? When we did our farming first, that was technology at that time. At every decade, it's called decade because in 10 years everything decays and a new thing is formed. So it is ever evolving. But as he rightly pointed it out, that our schools, they look the same. NEP is actually taking you back to Panchabhuta. It's actually taking you back to Nalanda, Takshashila universities, the beautiful learning of our own ancient roots. So we are just going back to our culture, to our roots, to understand how learning can be. India has given the numbers, the binary. If you all say that AI is good, hello, AI cannot work without binary system. Zero was given by India. The working of zero was given by India. We were working with AI long before. So AI was introduced what around, like, if I'm not wrong, in 1970s. It's just that it's so friendly available right now because in pandemic the globe just opened up. Because when the child is centric and we are creating children, like, we are developing them for 10 years ahead, 30 years ahead of future that we can't even imagine, we can't even fathom what's going to happen, then how do we prepare them? How do we prepare them that they do not become followers? There's not that sheep, the herd of sheep that they just follow. They have this 9 to 5 or like whatever workforce is that was created. How do we make them more creative, thinkers, developers, people who can take ownership of themselves? They're happy human beings. There was this beautiful quote that I read that successful people are not happy. Happy people make success. It's so important. Are our children happy? And that's what we are trying to do. We're trying to create learning as a happy process. Whenever we visit Rishi Kurukulam, we work like in very less capacity that we are able to give them. It is such a beautiful space to be in, such beautiful community, I'll say. And that's how learning needs to be. There has to be voice and choice given to all the stakeholders. I remember telling children telling me that Didi, we make our timetable, we wanted to play more, so we get up at 4 o'clock. And I said, you get up at 4, 5 a.m. really? So yeah. And our teachers agreed to it. That's the voice and choice system we need to give our students. And that's what actually NEP is telling. So as Hiramji rightly said, it is giving us all, it is just the skeleton, it's giving us the space to design it creatively. So it's about play, that's unstructured play. It's about adding vocational skills.
It's really nice to see you all gathered here on Sunday morning or afternoon, wherever you are from, different parts of the world, if you are. Uh, because I can see that there are different members on the panel coming from different background and different areas of expertise. However, one common thread that brought all of us is, the NEP and definitely the transformation that we are seeing at the education system, specifically from the Indian context. And one thing that strike me the most out of everything else that the other speakers talked about so far is when I see the pyramid that the Department of Education has laid out, or the council or the committee members for the National Curriculum Framework that has set up 2023, which is in line with the NEP 2020, is that pyramid talks about, the apex of the pyramid talks about the Constitution of India, the vision for the society when it comes to equality and demographically or gender wise or societal at the societal level. So that is where it starts with, and it comes down to the vision of education. Why do we want to basically have the education in place? And it drills down to the learning outcomes, as Haram sir just talked about. But between the vision of the society and between the learning outcomes, what lies is basically how do we want to frame our curriculum. That is where we are currently working with. So our focus is basically getting the experiential learning to the students, making sure that life and living goes hand in hand. Both of these things go hand in hand, and this is where our primary forte, our competence lies in making sure that the academics, the education is not only about the concepts of the academics, but the very definition now that has come in NEP or specifically for the national curriculum framework when it comes to assessment. And please pay very careful attention to these terminologies also used. There is no more evaluation. I mean, uh, and specifically when we talk from the point of spirit here, because we are our foundation is spirit when it comes to Gurukulam. So if you observe and watch these words carefully, there is no evaluation. It is all about assessment. And assessment of what? Assessment of competence. More of competence than the rote learning. And the very definition of competence, what they have put in place is competence is nothing but a combination of application of knowledge, that is what we call as cognizance, plus the skill. And the most important out of these two, which was never there in our education system, I mean, it was there in the past, but it was removed uh, after certain years of time, was the attitude or the consciousness. In our words, if we talk about these three put together forms the competence. And that is where something that our forte lies in area of you know uh, capacity building. So the prime focus that we have also started giving on the awareness of the parents. So these are the key areas that we work on. With that note, I'll just pause here and we'll hand it over for the next presenter. Thank you very much.
Narendra Raniji, moving on to Katarkhadak village where we have our Rishi Gurukulam. He moved in 2010, leaving his full-time job in an MNC. And from there, he has been, with Gurukulam for now more than 25 years, we can say, rather 15 years, sorry. And yeah, the way it is evolving, beautiful. He himself is a student for life, I would say. That's how I see him so closely. And as well, someone from whom, every interaction is something where we can learn from. He loves to do various things in terms of young generation, create various programs. Apart from taking care of Gurukulam, there is so much he does outside Gurukulam, or providing training to a lot of youths in village areas or places where they need more support and more training, and a lot of other things as a part of Manoj Lekhiji's team as well, our spiritual coach. So, sir, over to you. Would like to hear more about this journey of yours, moving from your IT career to what you're doing now with that lovely smile on your face all the time. And if you can also share that how Rishi Gurukulam embodies NEP through holistic and conscious based education, sir. Yes, over to you. Sir, you're on mute.
Thank you. Thanks for this intro. Good morning, Jai Gurudev to everyone. And of course, by nature, I'm not an educationist. I'm an engineer. So I've become an educationist because of Guruji, and I really love the vision that he gave us way back in 2010 when nobody was talking about NEP or anything, was that of creating world leaders with the humility of a saint, knowledge of a learned, and a wisdom of a guru. So all the values, ethics, everything, Guruji told us that yes, this has to be the vision. And now what NEP is talking about, all the same things, have the vision, have this holistic view, have everything. So at Gurukulam, we always say it's not for the extraordinary students, but it's for the extraordinary parents who understand that education is not just the bookish knowledge, but coming out of it and be in the nature, learn with the nature, and of course the different education methods that Guruji has given us as a true visionary, which we can really embody in the Gurukulam. And now, if you see the NEP alignment, most of the Gurukulam activities falls into this NEP part. So I was this. Of course, we'll talk about it later also because there are a lot of question answers we'll have. So I'll stop here, and of course we'll see more about NEP and Gurukulam part coming forward. Sure. Thank you.
Karam sir, would like to hear something from you. I mean, we have been talking about teachers who have to, work towards building the curriculum, who have to get trained, who have to start thinking innovatively to bring in that experiential learning. So, the policy also talks about reducing the curriculum content. How can teachers then focus on the depth of learning instead of the breadth?
Okay, so this is the kind of a major $1 million question in the current context, that Uh, Let me give you one line answer for what should change. What has changed, I can't say just now because still we are not yet there. What should change is that moving from content based to skill based learning. That's a very one liner of the major goal of the national education policy. Now, in that case, also, increasing number of subject is not the objective of the NEP. In fact, increasing the depth of the subject of one subject, that is what is required. That's why I say vertical depth is required rather than horizontal scope. So increasing subjects is not going to help us. In fact, it is going to confuse us. It is going to give a lot of burden to the teachers. And to understand that framework, uh, our own state curriculum framework of government of Maharashtra has really highlighted it very well. I'm sure, and I recommend everyone to read first 10 pages of state curriculum framework of government of Maharashtra. You can check it online, search for SCF 2024 government of Maharashtra framework latest document and read only 10 first pages. You will find what I am talking right now about. So to make the things in the context, uh, I'm sharing my screen quickly. Uh, these are the only thing, like when I say the curriculum goals, these are the main areas, five main domains where the uh, curriculum for the primary grades is expected to go across. So obviously the at top level on the physical development, because we are at the early years as well as foundational stage, then socio-emotional and ethical development, cognitive development, language skills, literacy skills, and aesthetic and cultural development. These are the only thing that is what is expected out of the entire curriculum. Edward Bloom came up with this taxonomy many years back, and there are a lot of debates, discussions on this taxonomy, but the basic essence remains the same. Whatever you say of the hybrid bloom, reverse bloom, central bloom, and all these methodologies are there. But what it says that learning or the overall learning process has multiple steps, and it can happen by basic remembering the facts or by understanding, also by using application as one of the skill, or by analyzing the content, by evaluating the various options available to the learner, and by creating something new. So that's a kind of hierarchy that what Edward Bloom started to propose. Don't work on the content, work on the skill in front of your teachers, your students. So how to organize that? The point number one out of this entire process is that uh, concentrate on what is expected from the students after teaching my content. So in short word, this entire process is called defining learning outcomes. Content keeps on evolving. When I think most of the parents are maybe of my age or maybe nearby my age. When I was young, school days, we had the in Marathi book.
So, Dipali, coming to you for the next question, NEP also emphasizes that education rooted in Indian ethos. I mean, how do we practically bring in our classrooms? If you can share some views on that. Yeah.
Sure, sure. Wonderful question. No subject is independent of any other subject. Learning is never independent, ever. Right now, when we are conversing, we have taken a context of NEP, we have studied, analyzed, and speaking in a language. So there is some context, we understand, comprehend, analyze, and then use a language to communicate. So no learning is independent. There's no space to make mistakes. There's no space to even understand, hey, I can make a mistake, fall down, get up, learn again, and create my own learning. Because nobody's going to judge me, no? Because I am responsible for my learning. If I make a mistake, it's okay. I'm going to say sorry to myself and then get up and redo it. And just imagine how beautiful that human being will become and how entrepreneurial that human being will become when they are responsible for their learning. So just give choice and voice to them. Ask them like, hey, okay, these are the type of like subjects that you want to do. How do you do it? There's a part in NEP which talks about the mind, body, and the spirit balance. I think somebody was even mentioning that.
All right. So over to you, Kishore with our next question. In line to Gurukulam and your ways of the experiential learning is how can we use Gurukulam's experiential learning methods to teach modern subjects effectively? If you can give some more understanding on
Sure.
this, right? Yeah.
Sure. As far as experiential learning is concerned, what NEP precisely talks about, going from rote learning, moving away from the rote learning, is what we have been practicing at our space here, as well as the organizations that I work with, and we are also trying to get this into the philosophy of education, like moving away from rote learning to project-based learning. I mean, it is there. Uh, Project-based learning can be, for it can run as long as a couple of months to 6 months period of time, as far as the time period is concerned. But more specifically, the focus can be given on to the community service through vocational education, is what our uh, point of experiential learning is about. So vocational learning, when it comes when we talk about vocational learning, there are three areas of work that we precisely talk about, three classes of work. One is working with living being and like plants and animals, human beings, and exactly what uh, other speaker talked about. Uh, and there are options for the child to choose few of those vocations from multiple vocations. So there are different vocations, and what we are advocating is right now with different governments is you do not focus on the vocations that are there. uh, you know we need not standardize this, because the vocations change geographically, the vocations change even from the Indian context. If you see, the vocations that are there in Maharashtra need not be there in Andhra Pradesh, or they may not be there in the northeast states. So we are making sure that the vocations need to be geography specific. They need to be because India is such a reach in terms of the heritage, as far as the vocations are concerned. As you can see, these two pictures on my slide, I have put these two pictures purposefully, and they're very selective pictures out of all my work. So if you carefully see what these children are doing, whatever they are doing, they are applying the concepts from the book or the curricula to the real life challenges. The first picture on the top, there are four of these children proposing in our NCRT curriculum as far as interdisciplinary subject is concerned. So for example, if you want to teach some concept from the science, like for example, exploring ecosystem and biodiversity is typically taught in grade 7th and 8th, or it starts from even grade 6th. uh, the objective of this learning can be understanding the interdependence, like living and non-living components. But it need not be taught only into the classroom. What are the ways that this concept or the topic can be taught is different ways. There could be different ways, like observation walks. Gurukulam is blessed with jungle and forest around. You have so many other natural areas, like water body. You have water bodies, you have farms, you have hills, that you can take the children along. uh, the individual and the group work can be basically identifying different plants, insects, soil types. Recording the data is one of the most important parameter that I have seen across all the subjects. Without data, there is nothing. I mean, we talk about 21st century skills. There is that we want to make our child critically thinking. We want to make the child taking decisions. How will the child take a decision? How will the child learn from the mistakes unless we allow the child to make the mistakes?
Experiential learning, project based learning, or picking up real life projects is the best way to learn, integrated subjects, what we have been talking about. I mean, we don't need to learn science separately, we don't need to learn geography and math separately. Everything can be integrated. And it's beautiful. Under Guruji's guidance and Manojji's guidance, we have been doing this at different levels for many years. And now with Heram sir and Kishorji, we're getting into deeper understanding and implementation. We are very happy to also see a lot of things already getting implemented at Gurukulam when it comes to real projects or experiential learning through the STEM club, as well as our regular academics, where under CCE guidelines, we are understanding and collaborating, integrating subjects, creating projects where children are able to actually experience, learn, and integrate subjects. So that's wonderful. And on that note, I would like to ask Narendra sir that we already know that we see a lot of NEP implemented in Gurukul all in place. And of course, what we are doing is we are fine tuning it, we are polishing it, and we're making it better and better. How do you envision Gurukulam as a model school system that will showcase the NEP principle in action, actually?
Okay, let me share quickly. Yeah, you can see, right?
Yes, sir, we can see the screen.
So, okay, so as I said earlier also, this was our vision which Guruji gave us, that creating world leaders with the humility of a saint, knowledge of a learned, and the wisdom of the Guru. And then, yes, this is the mission that we are working with, that is, we are providing an environment where learning is fun, using both right and left brain. Every child is growing in unbound freedom, play, and creativity. Children are getting trained to be entrepreneurs. Children are learning everything, not just avidya, but inner also vidya. And children see godliness in each other and divinity in being. So, how this is linked with NEP? So, basically, these are the core principles of NEP, that is holistic multidisciplinary education, that is experiential and joyful learning, values and ethics integration, flexibility, choice giving, teacher empowerment, mentorship, and local context cultural pride. So if you see, our vision mission goes very well with these core principles. And this is the existing alignment chart of Rishi Gurukulam with the NEP 2020, which is, we are doing it for last 15 years without knowing what was NEP. But now with the NEP, yes, I was able to get into that curricular structure, which they have now said 5, 3, 3, 4. Of course, we don't have that last 4 part, that is 9, 10, 11, 12. But till 8, we have following the same thing, mother, toddler, then till the 8th grade, including now the Finland CC. Plus, we have all the playway, because this ISP methodology which we are using, which is a playway, storytelling, nature walks, which is happening everywhere. The language, they talk about mother tongue as well as the two language. So we have English plus Marathi plus Sanskrit, we are giving it from the first standard. So the children are very well aware about the basics of the Indian culture also. And assessment till 7th, we don't have any grades. So there is no grade, nothing. We are very open. It's only feedback based. There is very, very simple thing. And vocational education, we are already giving it. NEP says after grade 6, but we are already giving it from the first grade. So it is very much everything. If you see the art and sports, everything we are already integrated into our Gurukulam culture. So it was there, which is now very well aligned with the NEP, because NEP has come out from the Gurukulam mentor. So it is very easy to replicate our model to anywhere in the world with these principles. And this way, we can simply take it and put it anywhere in the world, and it can function very, very, very easily. And as they said, the teacher role is of mentor. So we never call it teacher. In Gurukulam also, we call always Didi. The moment I said Didi, it's a very feeling that okay, somebody is there to care for me, but if the teacher means somebody is going to teach me rather than somebody is going there. And yes, Bhaiya also, yes, Nitin Bhaiya. I know. Yes, not just Didis, but we are Didis in majority and Bhaiyas are in minority. So I talked about the Didis. So overall, our Gurukulam is very well aligned with these NEP principles. There are sometimes certain things we need to fine tune, which of course Heram sir, Kishorji, everybody is helping us out to fine tune the mechanism. But the overall, the like how NEP is a big sphere where there are so many things and we need to align to that principles. Gurukulam is very well aligned with that. And with the going forward, if 9, 10, 11, 12, if we can go with NIOS or IGCSE board where the students can.
I have been seeing Gurukulam way of working. I have seen experiential learning with Kishore Bhai, with Kulkarni ji, the whole creative thing. One worry as a parent that still have a little thing around it is our systems in government about the board exams, how their exams are conducted, how the assessments are done, and connected to that, because there is a pattern, there is a format of exams which is somewhere reflecting in our next exams, where we children are preparing for common entrance test or GE or something. So is there any specific thing, there is a change in that format or the way it is conducted during NEP? Because what is the worry is rote learning is coming out of that fear of exam and getting good marks in exams. That is one of the major, that is my perception as a parent. But yeah, if somebody can, Haramji, Kishore Bhai, or anyone can please suggest some. So how it's going to be and what it will be look like for NEP, that is what I would like to understand. Hello. Yep.
Yeah. Maybe I will start and then Kishorji and everyone can add to it. So let's put it from the government perspective. Will there be any change in the assessment in the NEP? So first of all, uh, government has already incorporated one common examination pattern, which started format of the STAR acronyms were there for the common assessment and designing of the one body of the assessment. This was started in 2020. After that, there has been every year they are coming up with new some models. One of the model which you can in this envisage is that because of this NEP's change in the structure, structure means how the schools are being organized. Uh, in that part, you will see this model will come into practice heavily, which I just would like to share with you just in a minute, uh, which is a change. Give me a sharing screen. Yes, this. So everybody knows that okay, we are changing from this old model of the 2 plus 10 plus 3 or 4 to 4 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 or 4, depending on the part. So what is this means that the basic foundational years, including 3 years of the preschool and grade 1 and 2, they will be integrated, and then we will have grade 3, 4, 5, then grade 6 to 8, and grade 9 to 12. Now, when we say grade 9 to 12 are being integrated, there is no transition between grade 10 and grade 11. That means that itself tells that we are not going to have this kind of a 10th grade qualifying exam if you want to go to the science stream or everything. In fact, that's the main objective of integrating grade 9, 10, 11, 12, so that students should be free to experiment, take multiple subjects, and get the credit basis process. And this will be a new structure. Unfortunately, we are not on timeline with this. in the original draft of the NEP, this draft was supposed to be in 2026 rolled out. What does this mean? Is that this model where grade 3, grade 5, grade 8, and then grade 12. Here are the main kind of qualifying exams will be happening, and other than that, everything will be application based assessment will be there. That's the main objective of the proposed by NCRT. And for the same reason, you might have seen this one news that now NCRT is bringing open book test. Now this open book test looks amazing, but believe me, it takes at least 10 years for our teachers to get trained how to design an open book test. Because open book test is not that you read on the day of the exam in the book. In fact, the open book test means you should not open the book during the exam. That's called as open book test. You should open the book only for the references and the application, how you are designing. And before reading, like for the open book test, the basic requirement, you should read question for 15 minutes and then start writing the answer. Are we ready for this kind of exams? Unfortunately, we are not. So, what should be happening for this concept is that the overall, and that is one, I have one criticism about the implementation of the NEP, is that we are doing too much of hurry in giving the examination patterns rather than changing the learning style. Because our governments are 5 years government. They want to show something great happening in 5 years.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Tejal. And thank you, Hiramji, Dipali Kishore Bhai, Narendra sir. Amazing, amazing insights. Great to hear from all of you last couple of hours. On behalf of the management of Rishi Gurukulam, I would like to spend 5 minutes to share what Gurukulam is all about. Although आप लोगों ने सबने अपने sharing में थोड़ा सा झलक दे ही दिया है ऋषि गुरुकुलम के बारे में, but why not start with a small video, Tejal? And I'm conscious of time, so I will be very, very brief. Yeah, you can play the video.
Effortless education. Nestled
Just
in
a
the
second, I'll
pristine
just check on
surroundings
the
of
sound sharing
Kathakara,
also. Let me just come
25
back. Give me 1
kilometers from
second.
Pune is
Yeah, we can hear the
Rishi
sound.
Gurukulam,
Stop.
Okay.
a Gurukul that combines the best of the East and the West of age-old and time-tested traditions with contemporary technological advances. Promoted by Guruji Sri Rishi Prabhakar, himself an aeronautical engineer, computer scientist, and an MBA graduate from Ontario, Canada. Gurukulam is ideally suited to bring out the best in every child. The Gurukul system differs from the modern-day system of schooling. A Gurukul is a residential school in which children live in proximity to a guru, irrespective of their social standing. In today's day schools, the focus is mainly on academics and at the most sports. In a Gurukul, the child's character is also molded so that by the time he leaves the Gurukul, he is ready for life, ethically, spiritually, and technically. Today, what we desperately need is not more advanced technology, but men and women of strong character, self-disciplined, and capable of being global citizens who can make the utmost utilization of technology for the benefit of mankind. A nation is always built by disciplined, cultured, devoted, and educated men with full faith in the self and the nation. This faith and discipline can be best imbibed in children at a tender age, which will compel them to concentrate on character building and develop a sense of cross-cultural cooperation and harmony. Our vision is to create world leaders with the humility of a saint, knowledge of the learned, and the wisdom of a guru. This happens by creating an atmosphere where children experience inner freedom so that they are always calm, relaxed, and happy. Enriching the children so that they can touch other souls and make lots of friends. Developing entrepreneurship in children so that they can be useful wherever they are. Developing in children a taste for excellence so that they do everything 100%. And lastly, developing Seva Bhav in children so they take up projects for the benefit of mankind. Teachers are also senior students who know all subjects. A child from Rishi Gurukulam will become a job creator rather than a job seeker. That then is Rishi Gurukulam, combining the best of the East and the West, of age-old and time-tested traditions with contemporary technological advances. We invite you to be a part of Rishi Gurukulam and make your contribution towards the building of this nation by supporting our goal of creating world leaders. Rishi Gurukulam, creating world leaders, 100% joyful and effortless education.
So that was a small glimpse of Rishi Curriculum for every one of you, my friends. Education, a holistic education, NEP की तो हम बात कर रहे हैं, जैसे नरेंद्र सर ने कहा, for last 15 years we are kind of living by similar principles, and you can come and make a day visit by all means to experience Gurukulam firsthand. You can contact these people. Also, we are always open for a trial into Gurukulam, whereby we invite parents and children कि आप Gurukulam में आकर 3 दिन 4 दिन 1 हफ्ता रहिए, and during that 1 week of trial period your child can attend the classes जिसमें उसको एडमिशन लेना होता है, and experience कि भाई ये जो वाला लड्डू है वो मुझे रास आता है कि नहीं, and then during that period of time you can spend time talking to teachers, you can spend time talking to children, experiencing Gurukul firsthand, and then if it suits you तो admission तो बहुत दूर की बात है, but it has transformed the lives of so many children that I know over the last 10-12 years, and if it benefits you, by all means you are most welcome to come and try it out कि भैया लड्डू कितना मीठा है. That is all I have to say. Tejal, back to you.
Thank you so much for giving this quick insight of Gurukulam to all of us.